Okay, so last video we learned about this. Okay, now in this video we will be covering this part. Explain the importance of water potential and osmosis in the uptake of water by plants. Okay, so in plants, when water is taken in for photosynthesis. I'm going to put this in another color. It's going to be taken in for photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, it's the process that gives nutrients. Gives nutrients to the plant. So without photosynthesis, there would be, if there were no photosynthesis, then the plants would die. Okay, so photosynthesis needs water. You need water for photosynthesis. Needs water. Okay, it needs water. Now, explain the importance of water potential in the osmosis on animal cells and tissues. Okay, now in animal cells, if there is no water in animal cells, no water, then we couldn't function. We would be dehydrated. And we wouldn't... Okay, anyways, so if there's no water, it becomes dehydrated. So, and every process needs water. So, they should have water. If there is no water, either, if there is no water, it's going to become dehydrated. If it becomes dehydrated, then you're going to have no water. Obviously, you're not going to have water in your body. And then you're going to die, basically. Okay, and then next point is explain how... did we do animal cells? Explain how plants are supported by the turgor pressure. We said that, and we said that it is if there's the turgor pressure, then if there's a turgor pressure acting on it, then it becomes stiff and strong, so no water can enter it. Say the plants are supported by pressure of water inside cells pressing outwards on the cell, obviously, and that pressure is called turgor pressure. Effect of plant tissues. They didn't talk about animal tissues, but I'll say it anyways. Now, if an animal cell is in a concentrated solution, so it's concentrated. Okay, it's concentrated. Now, what happens is water, obviously, okay, if there's a higher water potential, this has a lower water potential, or this has a lower water potential. Okay, now it goes from here, the higher, to the lower. When it goes from that, obviously they don't have any vacuoles. Oh my god. Okay, so it goes outside, and now if it goes outside, okay, and the only water is in the cytoplasm. There's no vacuoles, obviously, because it's an animal cell. Now, if there are no vacuoles and there's only the cytoplasm, so it's gonna shrink. If cytoplasm, yeah, I forgot, but write the steps down. First is water leaves the cell by osmosis. Number 2, what happens if there is water over here and it leaves the cell? Then there's going to be space, so it's going to shrink. If the cytoplasm shrinks, then obviously the cell membrane shrinks. So cytoplasm and cell membrane shrink. Now, if it shrinks, it's probably the cell is going to look, it's going to look a bit like this. Obviously with that nucleus in it. And there's a nucleus in it. Now, it's going to look like that. That, we say it shrivels up. Shrivels up. Then, if it shrinks and shrivels up, dies of dehydration. Dies of dehydration because or water loss. Okay? Now, that's the concentrated solution. Now, if you have a solution, it's a watery solution right now. And this is the cell in it. This is the cell. This is its nucleus. Now I'm going to explain by red. This part of the solution, it has a high water potential. And this has a low water potential. Now, if it goes from high to low. Okay? So water from here. So water, I'm going to do it by navy blue. Water is over here. If water goes inside, then water comes inside here. And it's going to fill up and fill up and fill up till it's equilibrium. Maybe the cell cannot hold enough water. So it enlarges and enlarges and enlarges. Since it doesn't have a cell wall, it just bursts. So, I don't know how to draw it, but it just like this. There's water shooting out. This water shooting out. And water shooting out. This. Okay, and there's that nucleus in it, and there's water just smearing out. Anyways, so if I write down the steps, it's going to be like this. Number 1, it's water moves into cell. Number 2, cytoplasm becomes larger or enlarges. Becomes larger. Cell swells up and eventually bursts. Okay, now for these two, obviously we cannot have our cells, or in animal cells, we don't want our cells to burst or to, I'm going to change it to brown, to burst, or in this case to shrink or shrivel up. So what we have is, now we don't want these two things happening. So all cells are surrounded by tissue fluid. Now, the special thing about this tissue fluid, okay, the special thing about this tissue fluid is that it has the same concentration as cells. If it has the same concentration as cells, there's gonna be no diffusion. So diffusion because they don't have any. So if there is tissue fluid surrounding it, there's going to be no diffusion. So if this is the cell and this is the tissue fluid surrounding it, it has the equal number of water or solutes as the cell. So if there's no high potential or no water or no low potential, it's not going to be any difference. Okay. Yeah.